for them. But it starts off here. Map number 1 of their run at Munich over at Skyscraper.
Right.
And I was pretty bang on, 7:30, but I didn't expect it to be that way around. I'm assuming that that has maybe been flipped. I don't know. Unless it's maybe the CAG fans are up and maybe SAL's just, you know, rolling out of bed. But that's, yeah, interesting.
I think it would be like midnight or close to midnight maybe over in Japan. As we head into Skyscraper, I can't quite agree with that graphic. I would very much err on the side that FaZe are the favorites here. And they begin on defense too, which is where the comfortability will lie when it comes to Skyscraper. Already, you know, kind of read the stats earlier as well. I mean, everything is indicating that for FaZe, this is must-win territory. This would be a huge result if CAG were to win for a lot of reasons, and the ramifications that would then follow would not be great for FaZe. So they need to lock in. They need to get the job done. They cannot underestimate their opponent. For CAG, it's a bit of a free hit. Less expectations in this particular best of one, but as you said, there are expectations here, I think, for them at the Munich Major as we head into the bands. It is Mira and it is Monty, the first two, and 2 more to then follow as we get underway for what will be our second game here on the A stream. For those just tuning in, earlier, of course, we had Enterprise and Weibo, and it was a 7-5 on Clubhouse. Went the way of the Aussies plus Kiwi, and for Weibo, back to the drawing board. And on the B stream, D+, the APAC Brazilians beating out the Brazilians? Inferior.
Yeah. So it's a clean record for APAC so far.
Well,
I mean, we're
quote unquote.
Yeah, you know,
when it comes to D+, but
we're fudging some storylines to push that narrative. But
let's get underway here on Skyscraper. FaZe, the reigning SI champions. Could they go back to back in a couple of months' time? Form here at the Munich Major will be a telling factor if that's going to be a possibility. And for CAG, the expectations to perform internationally there, as always, for the #1 APAC team. Again, they've certainly got the capabilities to attack, and I think this is actually a good map as an example where a player like DD, who is essentially that hardcore IGL/coach role, helping facilitate the attack here on Skyscraper against a team like FaZe and how to break them down cannot be underestimated in terms of his own strengths. For FaZe, curious to see how they're going to play this on defense. Will they go aggressive and look to hold out these window and entry positions, try and get into the face of CAG, block them from getting into deeper positions, or will they kind of just play peel defense and force CAG to kind of figure things out?
So in terms of the bands, it's Mirror Clash, Monty Blackbeard. This is the first time FaZe this year, or at least in the numbers that I've got tracking back to May, that they have banned Blackbeard on this map. As for Cyclops, in that one and only appearance that we mentioned earlier against PSG, they did ban out the Mirror and Clash on that occasion. In this kind of circumstance, we expect Cyclops to throw something into the ring that's a little bit different to what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, Skyscraper is one of those maps, whether it's globally or at least in APAC, shields get banned. They get banned quite heavily.
Well, because it's a way to try and get map control on a map where it's almost impossible to get map control.
Throwing in a player like Anaton, who's on the Blitz, funnily enough, and of course a very good shield player.
Yep.
It could switch over to the Ying later on as well, right? Round and site dependent. Creeping up towards VIP, so clear across for CAG. Kali, it's going to take a little bit of damage there by the Vulcan canister. Naturally, Skyscraper doesn't always have the fastest pacing, neither at times to FaZe and CAG, and so I wouldn't be too surprised if we end up on the slower side of the scale when it comes to pacing here in this match. 90 seconds left, and the clear across is, well, kind of actually now turned into a bottom-down take. You can see DD just kind of nearby to side on the outside, playing the exterior still. He's got kit, so they're not looking to play necessarily fully into that sweep across. They're allowing Sharif to be the player to just kind of lurk on the Deimos and then bringing a little bit more pressure towards the site early in this round. Chibisu unable to find this kill so far off the back of the Grim Bees, and Vidaking does eventually fall. 2-player, make that 3-player advantage now for CAG. Make that 4. I can't even finish the sentence. FaZe are being obliterated on the site. It's flawless from Cyclops. What a way to start.
Okay.
They're still going. They're still going.
Gonna run out of breath. Dude, he's just like, settle down, lads, settle down.
You got them next door, by the way.
No, I don't. It's actually James.
Oh, is it James?
Yeah,
right.
James was saying that Dev Marder has Cyclops next to him in terms of the hotel room, and he could hear Anaton yelling and screaming quite a bit during their practice. So he's well accustomed to it. FaZe were pretty generous in the amount of map control they were willing to forfeit there in that round, and Cyclops punished them for it.
Absolutely.
Really good combination of the Dockerbee, the Grim, the info gathering, the clear from Vert.
Well, in some ways, it started off a little bit conventional. You saw a bit of that VIP pushback, and then they really switched it up, went far more direct. And that's going to be the difference, I think, for a team like CAG, where if they can offer different strategies mid-round adaptation, which again is a benefit to probably someone like DD, who is that IGL and makes those calls, that can really be the difference maker. That's an early attacking round for CAG against FaZe here on Skyscraper. It's an absolute statement. The fact it's flawless is just like the cherry on top. Like, it's just like, wow, I mean, okay. And I think for FaZe, that's the wake-up call nice and early. After the initial round, it's like, okay, these guys are here to play.
Swapping mags.
So we maneuver now to the opposing side of the map with much more of an emphasis on map extension from FaZe, with the tools of the Bandit in play and Cyber below, etc. Cyclops won't be able to necessarily get that free ground for the drop across hit.
Well, I think for FaZe now, you play very much into that horizontal, but then you've also got Cyber playing that first floor for the lurk. So they're trying to get more map control here in this second round. And I think for FaZe as well, if they can kind of at least say, let's try and get a bit more on the front foot in some of these fights, then it means for CAG, they can't quite get into that full setup, site execution kind of position.
Target acquired.
Black stairs.
Handy was close.
Banshee helps out for the lurk up black, and it's going to be FaZe that find the opening 2 kills. Handy and KDS on the board. DD's the one that did get one back, but he's two also on the floor. Chibisu will hold the angle in anticipation for someone to come and clear him.
Stay with me.
Should be able to get this revive, brings it back to a 3 versus 4, but better from FaZe. And what they get from this now, the initial conflict, they come out on top, now they then can fall back, play site.
They've completely reverted back towards objective, midpoint of the round, strong advantage.
Yep.
Still a double Nitro setup to play into as well. Presumably Cyber with a bit of util as well on Fenrir for late round. Much better there from FaZe, not forfeiting map control, contesting nicely, peeling back as expected. CAG now on the back foot, and they'll have to try and grind out this round. Have the blitz to play around, but it's certainly still going to be a challenge. Some util that can be peppered around for the util clearance, so we'll see what they can manage. But it's low percentage from him.
Loading new mag.
So 50 seconds remaining in the round. As you said, low percentage. This should be a FaZe round win from here, unless they kind of bungle it. But you got to give CAG every opportunity. They've still got the blitz. They've got a smoke available from Anaton too. Can help facilitate the entry, along with DD on the ROUs playing the Sands. And Cyber, immediate headshot puts a chance of winning this round for CAG down to probably 0%. And for FaZe, that is a solid response after losing the opening round flawlessly. Played that to perfection, brought their A-game for that second round. Horizontal hold, bring the initial conflict, get what they want from it, fall back, consolidate towards site. And CAG were always then, therefore, on the back foot. So a really good response, 1-1 after the opening 2 rounds.
And the energy difference between the two teams, pretty large gap. We saw Cyclops after their opening flawless round very much up and about, whereas FaZe, it's a little bit more tempered in terms of their excitement. And it's now to the tertiary site of Kitchen, which can be a defining factor on a map like Skyscraper, where that defensive win rate is sky high. In terms of this defensive hold with the castle in play, that will help facilitate the hold up above so that the defense can maintain vert control or even play into it themselves. They may feel comfortable in allowing Cyclops some ground down below on the horizontal, but can maintain presence and pressure from above. The Solid as well can facilitate that information gathering. Solid's likely to see more and more playtime at this event, especially compared to events gone by with recent changes. We've already seen a pick rate be quite high in the initial 2 games we've had here on the A stream. Cyclops on the flip side, they'll bring the Glaz in play. Self-sufficient with smokes, of course. Very useful tool for the flush above. And CAG may be electing to go full map across. They have the double flank watch as well in play, Gridlock, Nomad. So they have the tools at their disposal if they want to invest the time and the effort into clearing the entirety here of Skyscraper.
Well, it's almost like a game of chess in some ways as well. I think that, yeah, this is what CAG probably need to look at and say, we played a little slow, we played into that horizontal clear. They win that out. We can maybe win if we go a bit more direct. Anaton can just sit, play off of that smoke.
Oh, maybe they try and prepare for the lurk here, Cully.
Well, I think it's also sort of trying to bait FaZe back and not be ready for the angles that are being watched here by CAG. This is a fascinating round playing out, siege-wise. This is really, really good stuff from CAG. And you can see already gas babes. Like for Vidiking, he's already down to 1. There's 2 minutes left into the round. Like you have already forced out the gas babe usage, an impact as well from Handy.
Cully in.
And FaZe are now having to push right. I mean, up close, that's going to be Anaton maybe going a little bit too aggressive at that point in time. Vidiking holding Black Stairs really nicely. DD with a flash and does get the kill. The response is then swiftly there by the Blitz. He is low on health. 4v4 and 1 tap to the toe from Souls will be enough to shut down that Blitz of DD. FaZe responding nicely to the early aggression shown by CAG. And now that puts a span up for the rest of the round. In the 2v4, your kind of priority for the round, if you are CAG, has now gone wayward. Now with a minute 20 left, 2v3, you probably start to just play a little bit of TDM and see if you can pull this round back.
Yeah, props to Vidiking there, playing that backstairs position. Did really nicely to manage util correctly. Placed it with good timing.
Time to tickle some toes.
Was aware of the push in through by Anaton on the glass. Tried to make that heads-up play through the smoke. And by dismissing that and getting the blitz low, the rest of the team was able to then respond nicely, hit the trade required, and again, FaZe in another strong late round position. Not unwinnable again for CAG, but low percentage. No diffuser. Top floor, unaccounted for.
Popping bags!
And FaZe not presenting an opportunity back into the round.
Not a lot of time remaining. Sharif low on health. Pushes through pantry. I think at this point just trying to hope and pray that he gets something through the soft wall. Nothing to be found. 20 seconds leaves them with little time. And to the credit of FaZe, they weren't giving them much until at that very moment there. Cyber went for the swing. Loses his life as we head in towards red time. They still don't have kit. That's over towards Black Stairs. Watched closely by Souls and able to connect onto Sharif. Now no time at all for Arcully. Even if he does find at least 1 kill, Souls is not going to give him the second. FaZe will find their second. That's strong stuff.
Yeah, good work there on the tertiary. Great hold over towards backstairs. Vidiking does his job really nicely in just splitting that attack. Put Anaton on an island, won that duel. Got the blitz super low. The retake potential was there. 1 tap to the foot. Dismantled the entire attack, and CAG on the back foot.
CAG finding out pretty quickly, though, when FaZe bring their absolute best. It's going to be hard to crack that. And so far, FaZe, I think, have really adapted pretty quickly after losing that initial round, where for CAG, I thought they played it tremendously. I mean,
make them work for map control. You have to make them really grind for map control. I know it's pretty simple and classic to say on a map like Skyscraper, but it's fundamentally where APAC teams naturally struggle.
It was probably at around this position that for CAG, if they were going to win the round, they needed to probably win that battle towards Black Stairs and then go on from there. So credit to FaZe for shutting that down. Souls in the end played this position really, really well. And FaZe on top now, 2-1. And they're the kind of team that's just not going to panic.
No.
Like, okay, CAG flawless us in the opening round. We don't have to now suddenly start panicking.
No.
They just lock in and they go back to work. And now for CAG, can they respond now to what looks like FaZe dominance here on Skyscraper?
5 seconds to go.
But I think they've shown glimpses. Like, I mean, even in the 2-round losses, I guess more so in the most previous one, it still comes to 2 players alive. FaZe got the opening kill, but they still kind of kept the round alive. They tried to win that battle towards Black Stairs. Yes, it didn't work, but they gave themselves an opportunity. They didn't play scared.
The playmaking ideas, I think, have been pretty good. It's just falling a little bit flat in execution, and you only need to be a percentage point or 2 off against a team like FaZe with the firepower and just the consistency that they have. You can expose yourself, and we've seen that in the last couple of rounds now.
So back over towards Tea Room and Karaoke, which was the site won by CAG in the opening round. They did so flawlessly and did so with pretty much like a minute left on the clock as well. FaZe will be a little bit more prepared for a bit more of a direct hit. In fact, so much so, they're not really looking for that overextension. Bans, by the way, the Azami and the Blitz. Anaton then therefore falls onto the Ying. And the beauty of Anaton, yeah, he's a little bit of a two-trick player, shields and Ying, but you kind of pick your poison.
Impact amp, ineffective. And that's util gone astray for CAG. No more impact EMPs remain. Still a shock drone available though. So now it's just some fundamentals falling short for Cyclops, which doesn't bode well. Because in terms of fundamental gameplay, it hasn't been too bad up until this point. See how much that compromises the clear as Anaton falls.
Oh, double for Cyber. And again, catches at the right time here. If you're FaZe clan, this is exactly what you want. As CAG go for their setup, you interrupt it, you disrupt it, and you completely dismantle it. CAG now finding it very difficult to attack into FaZe. Leaves it all down to the IGL in DD. He got the run-out player, but as soon as he made his entry in through Geisha, he was shut down immediately. 3 in a row for FaZe Clan, right on top here for Skyscraper.
Yeah, there was no secondary point of pressure there onto Cyber, so whilst we didn't quite see the POV from his particular perspective, I think it was a pretty easy 2K for him to clean up. I don't know if that terrace play was necessarily in response to the Geisha wall failing to open up immediately, and then they quickly tried to pivot to a low percentage play. They may have been better off trying to posture for something and set up for a play or a clear or a map sweep or a pivot rotation, etc., as opposed to going for that quick, snappy response. But again, they're trying to make plays. That one, probably one of the weaker and lower percentage we've seen so far, but can't fault CAG for trying. It's a difficult map to brute force. Unfortunately for them, though, only one round to show for it thus far as we go over for the 5th. Last time out, FaZe with an extension across. Drum was reinforced. Peppered utility around to make the clear quite challenging for CAG. We'll see what the attack tries to throw at them this time. Out, repicking onto the Maverick may facilitate something a little bit more direct, but again, it's quite an open and aggressive hold here from FaZe, as we so typically see now on this side. Opening up walls is a challenge. Maverick will still be useful in combating the bandit that is still in play here on the defense. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more value from the Ying as well from attack. It was expected that FaZe would eventually ban out that blitz to counter Anaton, and then in response the pivot onto the Ying. Unfortunately, thus far though, it hasn't been as impactful as they probably would have liked in creating space and playmaking opportunities.
And naturally, in a probably normal game of Skyscraper, you'd say, well, for CAG, they maybe only need one more attacking round, but we know they're not necessarily the strongest defensive team on this map. I think they might need probably more than 2 attacking rounds, desperately need their second with 2 rounds to go. Anaton with the Candela, but he's playing into the Warden of Souls, who wants to get aggressive. Not deterred whatsoever by this utility, Candela or Smoke. Started really well, 5-1 for Souls. DD has been very lively though, which is, I mean, I don't know if that's a concern for CAG, because he's not supposed to really be at the forefront of the attacking part of their game.
Yeah, he's not typically a frontline player.
Need others to stand up for CAG if they are to get more rounds here against FaZe. Push up Restaurant. Anaton off the back of the Candela. It is going to be Arcully that opens it up against Cyber. Desperately needed opening kill for CAG. Just their second in the half. Anaton up close. Shotgun strong against Vidiking. Souls will fall. Well, so far, this is much better from CAG. When they win on this map, apparently they win close to flawlessly. KDS on the return, but got only the 1. Thought he could go for 2 and really open this round up, but he got immediately shut down. Handy in the 1v4. Always a capable player. Has the yellow ping, but not close by on the stairs. And he got spotted, he got tagged up, they know of his position. This, for all intents and purposes, should be a second round now for CAG. And to their credit, guys, in the 1v4, they're putting a lot of respect into Handy. They're not just rushing this to close the round out. And then you can see the flashbang, the push from Chibisu. That is actually, it's very minute, but it's a really well coordinated way to close the round out. In a 4v1, they take it as seriously as they can. They get the reward, 2 to 3.
Yeah, initial map clear was cleaner. Good value over towards Geesh. They had a cut off terrorist. Cyber got caught. He's been quite powerful in that particular position throughout this map so far. So they dismissed that. Then they double up drum FaZe, but unable to find the kill onto the Ying. Anderton, despite being a little bit sloppy with a shotgun in hand, was still able to find value. KDS with a hero play attempt, but at that point it was futile. And it's 2 rounds for CAG. You take that on this map against this
100%.
team, that's fine.
Well, they've put themselves in the position now where if they can get a third attack in the round, this game's up for grabs.
A tertiary attack win here is massive.
Yeah, this is game on. Like, this is what you want in a matchup like this. You don't want it to just be a bit of a rollover. This is as good as it probably could be right now for CAG. Attacking into Skyscraper, 2 attacking rounds now with an opportunity to get the third, and just adds that tiny amount of pressure there for FaZe to kind of close this half out in the 4-2 fashion. And if they do not, it really means that, yeah, they're a little vulnerable going into the second half.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Doorway barricaded.
So Barbecue Kitchen, final round of the half. And so far, with the 5 rounds played, 5 opening kills, all converted, so full conversion success rate for the team that does get the opening pick. Chibitsu, also the first player in this half to get a multi-kill. He got the 3 kills in that previous round, so it's been a pretty good spread. When you kind of look at the player cards on the bottom, there's not one individual that's got, 6, 7, 8 kills. The highest is Souls and Sharik with 5 each. 100% cost for Sharif and Didi, by the way. 80% for KDS, the highest for FaZe. And of the 5 rounds played, we've probably only had 1 that's actually been close, which was the round 3 Barbecue Kitchen.
Yeah. Speaking of Chibisu, first appearance of the Bravo in this half. We've seen Fenry in all but 1 round. That was the prior. And so right on cue perfectly. Chibisu able to hack this utility, prep across, open some more playmaking opportunities for the attack, and will subtract information gathering for the defense.
Well, it's a completely different roster of operator selection. If you're CAG here on Barbecue Kitchen, all 5 across the board have been swapped from what they utilized earlier in the first half. So it's a different setup for them.
If you cast your mind back, it was all around the Glass pocket play onto the backstairs position. This time, though, it seems like more horizontal emphasis prep. Anderton may be able to solo brute something himself late.
And Noah Zami this time for FaZe, of course, banned out, so they bring the Kai. So, but largely the same for FaZe in the way they're going to set up for this round. Minute 20 remaining on the clock.
We saw this Fenrir F0 pinged out prior, and Chibisu able to find that as well. So they've gotten good value from the Barber selection here. Again, the only time we've seen it this half.
Got to swing through the gas, babe, off the Candela. Anderton makes the entry known with the opening kill onto Vida King. But Cyber found the immediate trade onto Sharif. Shots down that Dockerby.
Light set. Changing maps.
And Candela again to try and retake up above. Still has 2 more available. Angled though through the doorway. KDS shuts down the rampaging Anderton, who thought he could do as he pleased on the top floor. Cleared though from Chibisu. Gets rid of Handy in the corner. Clears out that angle. 3v3. CAG do get a lot of this top floor control.
Still KDS above. CAG seem mindful of that potential.
And they cannot worry about the time. 30 seconds though, and if that is going to be a factor for CAG, this is when they start to panic and start to run around. For FaZe, I think they're still sitting in a really good position. As you said, with KDS still up above, they've got decent map control here heading into the final 20 seconds. And CAG now turning their attention towards the site without having fully cleared KDS.
You can maintain pressure, but Arkali finds that kill with the round opened earlier in the round.
This fight's the crucial one, and it's won successfully by Chibitsu. KDS needed to win that to potentially deny from above, leaving only souls remaining. The plant will go down successfully for CAG. The Cyclopses are here at the Munich Major. 3-3 in this half on Skyscraper. Attack against FaZe. You add all that up, and what a half for the APAC Kings.
Yeah.
Really solid final round. You're not reacting because you know full well FaZe could just win the next 4 rounds.
Hey, I've seen FaZe bring back a 1-5 on this map, mate, so I've seen it all.
Well,
It's not over till it's over.
Some of the highlights from the round. It actually was, by the way, the slowest round played in this half in terms of when we saw the opening kill. But when we got it, boy, did things explode pretty quickly.
And it wasn't because they weren't being active, right? They got a lot of value from the Brava. It countered the Fenrir nicely. It opened up routes for that clear above. And then Arkelio as well facilitated prep late for the work. Like, it was really well executed by Cyclops.
It builds the confidence. I spoke a little bit about that kind of storylining in the opening map for Enterprise and Weibo. Like when you kind of come to these events, starting well, getting kills and round wins, especially for CAG, attacking Skyscraper against FaZe, and you get 3 rounds, you're ecstatic. And you get the confidence from that. Bring that now into your defensive half, 4 rounds away. But you also can't get overwhelmed by being in this position. You've got to find then a way to be self-contained. For FaZe, again, as I said earlier, like, they're not going to panic. They're going to back in their system.
So it is double heart breach bans then for the second half. Ace Habana respectively. And then defensively,
Discovered the location of a bomb.
Izami and Mute taken out. We head over to Karaoke for the opening round of this defense. FaZe will be very eager to hit back on the scoreboard. In terms of their defensive win rate here on Sky, it sits at 83% across 12 rounds since May. CAG on the flip side, though, as we mentioned, again, a bit more limited in terms of the data, but able to get 5 attacking wins against PSG. Take from that what you may.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
FaZe spawning for the map clear. Flank watch available on the Nomad. They have the info gathering of the Grim and the Dokkaebi that will come into play through the mid to late round. Oh, but an early fight indeed. Sharif able to win that battle through the barricade.
Well, I think this is going to be probably one of the success points for CAG. If they're to win this map, it's going to be on defense, lurk positions, and try and find opening kills. Disrupt FaZe before they can get into the building and get kind of what they want to do going. They need to be on the front foot. CAG cannot play what I would consider that peel-back defense, play, consolidate towards site. They need to be in the face of FaZe and bring that APAC aggression if they're going to find success. Therefore, if you are FaZe, you've got to be prepared for that. You've got to be prepared for these entry positions, these lurkers, these players that are going to be playing maybe off-angle positions. FaZe can't come into this half and just expect to play rudimentary siege. Not against CAG, not against an APAC team. And this is where someone like Cyber on the Dokkaebi can really be the one to dispel that against CAG.
No good util though.
I mean, the Banshee, they're in a really good position. Yeah. And with the floorboards opened up as well, Cyber knows this is a dangerous position to be pushing. And
he knows that's
a fight to be taking as well. That little peak battle as he pushes up, there is help. What a shot down to DD. Or Cyber flexes his muscles. He walked right into that trap, but he said, no, I'm not stuck here with you. You're stuck here with me.
He walks into that knowing it's low percent, but he still was able to pull it off and find both.
And the third! Oh, Cyber! Oh, calm down. He's hot. And Souls is down, so it's a 2v2 with that kill from Chipitsu onto Handy. Cyber, though, is on for the ace in this 7th round, but shot down Anaton. Well, FaZe had gotten a big round from Cyber, yet they're still in the worse off position. Souls brought back up, has 2 Candelas available. 2 impacts for Chipitsu, 8-3 himself. And with the 60 seconds remaining, we probably slow things down a little bit in the 2v2.
Yeah, smoke and double Candela, but making this trot across towards side is tough. Long being held, and Anaton in T. Smoke procs.
KDS goes for the spray through the smoke, unable to find that. It's a little shift across here by Chipitsu. So he's on the other side of Karaoke. KDS looking for the clear across. You've still got Anaton in towards T-Room, but does not have a Nitrocell. Souls will play to watch the hallway. KDS wants to get into a safe position to get that plant down, but Chipitsu swings the doorway, hits the headshot. The low health Souls in the 1 versus 2. An SI champion here could certainly still win it. With 20 seconds though and low on health, it'll take his very, very best with no utility remaining. The kit on the floor right in front of him, but let's be honest, could no longer go for this plant. It's not an option heading into red time. Needs to hit the shots, of which Chipitsu does just a little bit better. Cyclops are on top, they're up 4-3. They're 3 rounds away from taking down FaZe here at the Munich Major.
Yeah, the vibes continue to be good here in the Cyclops.
Is this timeout territory?
Oh, not yet. I think you play out the other primary first.
Well, it's 3 rounds straight.
True.
But you're right, it doesn't look like it will be the case. So 3 rounds consecutive for Cyclops. And now you're in this position from CAG's perspective where they know full well they can win this map now. Like they're right in this game. I mean, this was insane by Cypher.
A lot of this round, of course, centered around and pivoted around that opening kill was Sharif on Vidiking at the 241 mark. That's well before any of the opening kills in that first half. The earliest coming through at 156.
10 seconds to
And of course, spawn peeking is not the most reliable way to get kills, and I don't think Cyclops are going to
5 seconds to go.
lean too heavily into it, but certainly something to be aware of as the match progresses, and FaZe will need to be mindful
Attackers are
of it.
heading out to the
So Chibisu, by the way, I want to highlight him very quickly. 10-3. What a game he is having, performing exceptionally well. But he's not necessarily, at least in recent events, been the top dog when it comes to CAG. That's usually resigned for Arkali and Sharif. So if you go back to the major qualifier land, the top 3 players, number 1 was Reaps, no surprise from Weibo. But number 2 and 3 was actually Arkali and Sharif, both tied on a 121 EPS performance. You then go to 8th EPS for the tournament was Chibitsu on 108. So a little bit of a discrepancy there. Still top 10 for Chibitsu, but nevertheless, he's the one that's overperforming right now for CAG. And a big reason why they're in this position when you consider Arkali, number 2 rated player from the most recent APAC LAN, is only 3-3 right now. So it shows that CAG have the weapons on this roster, that they're not over-reliant on 1 or 2 individuals.
FaZe Clan not with a single player in the top 10 from SAL.
Yeah.
It was Cyber leading the charge, 11th.
To be fair to FaZe, though,
It is a very
they're
competitive.
also never really that reliant on 1 or 2 players either.
And their top performing player is the top performer at the moment.
Another opening kill goes the way of CAG. That's 4 straight now. And a second kill immediately then followed up by Chibitsu. He is on a heater right now, 11-3. Making a statement here in this best of 1. Well, if FaZe didn't call the timeout in the previous round, I can say we're definitely going to get one after this round because they are getting absolutely torched here by the defense of CAG.
100%. Are you willing to put your career on the line?
Yeah, 100%. I'm backing it in. Look,
You're taking the next flight home if you're wrong.
You know full well, like if there's one thing I'm good at, it's guessing these timeouts. They need one right now. They better call it.
Yeah.
They cannot even get into the building with Handy and KDS. The last 2 remaining now for FaZe, staring down this barrel of 3 to 5. They have been flawless once already. Back in the opening round, it will not happen here in the 8th, courtesy of that kill from KDS. On to Didi. Would need the 1v5 ace in the final minute of this round. Getting teased by Sharif. Quite literally teased. The SI champions are being teased by CAG. And while KDS does shut him down for being the nuisance, he's still got a long way to go to win this round.
35 seconds. 3-man crossfire to break. KDS in a world of hurt. Shot in the back, round over.
Timeout, come on, this has got to be 5-3. I've seen this one in the playbook too many times. It cannot be left for much longer for FaZe. That's now 4 rounds consecutive to CAG. They are right on top in this match. And it is timeout, FaZe Clan, and I am safe, guys.
Lá com o shield.
That's that time I think I got nervous.
Os caras devem fazer aquele cruzado do chá. Lembra de reforçar a zona do chá ali e impedir um pouco a gente progredir. Você se lembra da adaptação, de girar lá pra queixa. O Gamogol, girar queixa e finaliza. Só que no bombe do chá, o splitado, beleza, tá funcionando, só que o opening kill queixa vai ser melhor por causa do green open.
Ela tem que só desabilitar os SC
Certo?
dela.
Aí, tipo, no caso, no cadeira não seria o green.
Eu desabilito com um gridlock lá.
O Sai pode pegar o green nessa parte. E no do azul, a gente pode tentar fazer praticamente a mesma play, só que com o Cyber de Maveco e o Souls de Blackbeard, porque eu consigo tirar esse cara de trás do pilar, um rapel pra marcar ele lá, ele correndo ali do pilar e a gente continua a play, fechou?
Tá. Bom, mas...
Blackbeard.
Well, my Portuguese is not great. In fact, it's non-existent outside of obrigado. But I like the tone there for FaZe. They're clearly not panicking. They also know full well, day 1, game 1, best of 1. And
well, I didn't hear a Vamos, so it mustn't have been super positive.
Well, I can't imagine you'd walk with too many positives, but it's also only 5-3 right now. If FaZe know if they can get their game going, they can easily get right back into this. I mean, CAG, APAC,
They've come back from bigger margins.
is known for giving up these kind of leads and looking great and then ultimately crumbling. So it's two sides of it right now at this position at 5-3. For CAG, it's lock in, get this done. Let's not go back to old bygone errors where we throw these advantages away. For FaZe, it's, you know, lock in and chill out. It's not that bad. We know we can get back into this.
10 seconds to
Yeah,
go.
that was going to be my talking point if we didn't get the tactical timeout. I guess I can make it now. Is this the kind of Cyclops we're seeing in this match thus far? Is a team that's playing confident, but they're not exceeding that limit, where they're limit testing enough to be disruptive and finding that, you know, straggling the line of aggression nicely, catching FaZe off guard, but they're not overstepping the mark and being silly and throwing and leading to those opportunities. Yeah, it's been good to watch. Like again,
Oh, he's going again.
Oh, that's probably
Got one more.
in
one
contrast
more.
to my
He won't
point.
expect it a third time.
If you had have died there, you could have thrown my point out the window. But again, we haven't seen a ton of that kind of play so far.
That would have been quite ironic, though. If he did go a third time, died, he would have just completely invalidated your point.
Yeah, exactly. But again, that's Cyclops way.
So, 5-3, FaZe out of their timeout. So far, have not really been able to fire too much of a shot here on their attacking half. You know, yes, historically, Skyscraper is not the easiest when it comes to attack into. Kali taken low. Oh, Chibisu, an explosive start to the round.
And it's been 100% kill conversion so far in this game.
Yep, all 8 rounds, now into the
Cyber
9,
again,
but
big multi.
Cyber with another multi. He got 3 back in the 7th round to kickstart the second half. He's now up to 9-7, leading the way for FaZe, but who's going to follow suit? 4-3 advantage for FaZe, looking to be the first team in this match to win a round from the opening engagement deficit. Double shield play, Monty versus the Clash. Lack of shield bans in the second half. Now Kali goes down as well on the Wamai. Anaton under a heap of pressure. Here come FaZe. They bring the aggression in the 9th round out of the tactical timeout. One out in the exterior as well. That was Souls. Cyber found another kill onto Anaton, and here come FaZe. Here come the Brazilians. Here comes the Vamos.
That's really nice. I mean, a couple of key pieces of the puzzle there for the attack. We saw the perceived pressure of those Zofia really nice in pushing back the Clash, preventing the hold thrown. We saw the layering of the impact Emps throughout the round again in direct contest of the Clash and preventing Anaton from having big impact in that round, being able to establish a power position. They found picks elsewhere, then able to flood. Really well-directed attack there from FaZe.
I mean, we know already full well that teams, when they take that tactical timeout, they usually come out the other side looking the better for the most part. Grim and Clash bans for what it's worth, heading into the 10th round. So there's the response from FaZe. Their first attacking round, their first round win since the 4th round of this game. It was a 4-round win streak for CAG after FaZe had a 3-1 lead. Now, what a start to the Munich Major, though, guys. You consider we had 7-5 on the A stream. We had an 8-7 on the B stream. Now this one's 5-4. We've had a couple. We already had. I mean, D+ beating Fury is an underdog for all intents and purposes, winning out their match. Enterprise weren't the fan favorite, I guess, against Weibo. Although I probably would have predicted them to win that based on preparation coming into the event. And CAG are putting up a mighty effort here against FaZe. It's really been the best start we could ask for the major.
Yeah, with only 16 teams at the event, I guess the expectation was for the quality and the competition to rise.
Absolutely.
5 seconds left.
I think that's been the case so far. Again, early days, so I don't want to curse the rest of the afternoon, but
Attackers are moving to defuse
yeah, it's been good to
the
watch. Crunch time, though, for these two teams.
Yeah, and honestly, we were in a similar position, weren't we, in the opening game, where we got to like the 10th round, it's close, it's 5-4, and then that's when it really kind of felt like now these rounds are really going to matter. Every mistake is going to be punished.
Yeah, it's about key moments from this point onwards, really.
And no Clash now either available, but we only saw it utilized once, funnily enough, for CAG in this half, and it was the one round they actually lost. So I don't know how much of a loss that will necessarily be. Grim used twice by FaZe, so no longer available. They bring the Gridlock for the first time in this half. Capitao as well will see usage too for the first time from FaZe. Handy 3-9, but he does have 7 assists, so it's an intriguing looking KDA for him. He actually has the same cost as Souls, who's 6-5.
Well, Geisha's been confirmed clear now with a couple of drones, KDS with the follow-up, and I can only presume that FaZe are eager to try and play off that. Sharif maybe to lurk, but yet caught, presumably off that information just gone. It's a quick action from FaZe.
And tide turning now, right? So it was 4-round win streak for CAG, but on top of that was also 5 opening kills in their favor, but the last of which was not converted, and now an opening kill for FaZe. So you can start to feel that tide turning. The Brazilian onslaught is starting to make its way into this match. CAG must find a way to just kind of reset things a little bit, regain control, because FaZe are now bringing their utmost best. They're bringing that aggression here on the attack, slicing through the defense. Chipitsu, who's been the best for CAG, now loses his life. FaZe bringing the pressure, and CAG are unable to deal with it, and that should have been a kill from Arcali onto Souls. Throws out the flash, then pulls out the SMG, gets the kill. FaZe are bringing the heat now, and CAG are not withstanding it. They get slaughtered in this 10th round. 2 in a row for FaZe. We are all tied up.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable how they've just been able to flick that switch so quickly and
Well, since the timeout, basically.
gone bang bang.
And speaking of timeouts, now CAG will utilize theirs at 5-5.
How's your Japanese?
Konnichiwa. That's about it. That's the same as the Portuguese. It's like one word. I think for CAG, though, this is when it gets that realization of we've kind of been in these positions historically where we maybe do well in matches we're maybe not expected to do as well, and then we kind of crumble towards the end. And I do wonder, we don't know obviously what they're talking about. It's probably game related, but in the back of their minds, you have to think as well.
It's like, we've been here before,
We've been
guys.
here before. Like, come on, let's lock this one in.
To be fair, the last couple of rounds, at least from my perspective, have very much been FaZe playing some really phenomenal Siege. They're garnering a ton of information. Maybe I haven't necessarily caught it on stream, but I've been looking across at the overhead. Like, they're flooding site with drones and then bang, bang, bang. Like, they're not giving any chance for CAG to quickly respond off that.
FaZe's coordination has spiked since the timeout. They look more in sync. I wonder if they're like 3-2-1 calling and the way that they're set up has improved off the back of that. Maybe it's something that they spoke about. But the quality of Siege that we've had, I mean, even in the first game, the first match that we had earlier, now into this one, has been really, really good.
Can't say we've seen a ton of throwing or anything. Like
No,
genuinely,
I mean,
it's been really clean.
genuinely have not really seen a lot of like, oh my god, mistakes or throwing or anything along those lines.
10 seconds to insertion.
At a 5-5 scoreline, it's also still somewhat difficult to predict. I mean, I think the natural thought is probably FaZe, but I mean, CAG is still on defense and coming out of their timeout. I'm curious to see how they're going to maybe adapt and change things. The biggest thing, if I'm CAG, is the noticing of FaZe's aggression has amped up. So if their aggression has amped up, do we go to try and meet that, or do we fall back, give them some space, and then go for the counter punch, let's say at around that minute or a minute and a half mark that we see certain teams do? It's like a chess battle at the moment between these two teams.
Yeah. That time of opening kill has definitely been a lot faster in this second half on average. Close towards that 2-minute mark, whereas previously it was about 1:30.
150, 154, so nothing, below the 150 mark. And as you mentioned in the first half, 150 was like the longest. But that's also a case of in a couple of rounds, CAG have actually gone for some run-outs and some spawn peaks and holding aggressive positions. It's not just necessarily FaZe. Very early logic bomb by KDS.
So Doc will be low for this round. Combination with Deimos. And he will be able to pose a threat from below.
I like the 3-2 split though for CAG. So they keep bodies next to each other. So 3 over towards site, and then you've kind of got was Arcali and Sharif close by Dragon side. Sharif has actually just now lingered over towards Drum. So he's now by himself. So now it's a 3-1-1 split for CAG on the defense. FaZe just working here on the exterior balcony. And Sharif got caught. So Sharif got caught because he went wandering towards Drum, cut back towards Mezzanine, got caught from below. So that's where it's like, okay, well, that's a good pick-off for FaZe, but CAG were trying to maybe cut off FaZe from the horizontal, get punished. This is just really good map control from FaZe, and they punish CAG. They're playing really, really good Siege right now. They've locked in.
KDS falls though, 3v4.
They got numbers though, and that's the beauty for FaZe. They know full well, we get the numbers, now we can hit sight. We hit sight, we've got the firepower. FaZe are at their best right now, and CAG are just unable to match it. 6-5, all of a sudden, FaZe have now got match point. Beautiful siege from FaZe.
This is one of the most impressive characteristics of this team, is their ability to switch it on. Off that tactical timeout, they have looked really renewed. That was probably the weaker effort from CAG we've seen thus far, which is concerning off the back of attack.
Well, you could say that, but it's the clinical nature of FaZe to know full well that, okay, if there is one or two players playing extensive horizontal, so around drum, around mezzanine, we cut one of those off, we now have numbers, we can now hit sight.
I think...
And they did that, and they did that so quickly.
Yes, I agree. But the counterpoint to that is Cyclops, they weren't even engagements, the first two fights. They were just clean kills in favor of FaZe. So that goes down in the negative column for Cyclops for not even being able to contest or be in a position to contest.
No, I get that, but if you're Sharif in his position, right, so he's around that mezzanine position, it's not the position that's the issue, it's the fact he never really even got to shoot back. Like, he never even was in the engagement, but that's not necessarily his entire fault. It's just good positioning from FaZe.
Yeah.
So 6-5, match point, and yeah, we go bedroom, but it's the fact that it's been so topsy-turvy. It was, you know, 3 in a row to FaZe, then 4 in a row to CAG, then now 3 in a row to FaZe. There's actually kind of a lot of similarities to the EP Wavo game, which was similar in nature in terms of the 3-round streaks. It wasn't necessarily back and forth.
Do we go OT though?
Oh, do we go OT?
Question.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
No one knows.
And I wonder though for CAG, if they want to get this to overtime, do they just throw everything at an early aggression in the round? Yeah, Chibitsu on the Oryx. Does he go for a run out?
Will be a potential useful tool later in the round though against that Blackbeard.
And also for FaZe here, I'm sure that they'll be wary of the fact that for CAG now down, facing match point, that CAG might want to do something sneaky early on. So FaZe might actually slow things down in the first 30, 40 seconds. Like, this is the thing with beating these top Brazilian teams. You're not just having to beat them in sheer gunplay, but you got to beat them in the brain game as well. Like, they're just so smart.
Yeah,
and their game knowledge.
Tactically, and that's double-laid in the sense of versatility and adaptability. The best in the world at it.
Good drone, they start to get information. Okay, CAG are maybe wanting to spread around the map. So yes, it's bedroom, bathroom, but CAG are playing full map control. So FaZe are now changing the way that they probably want to adapt into this round. Slowed the pace right down.
Yeah, handy with some drone work Guiche side. In the meantime, terrace across now for Vidaking. So trying to account for these defenders on the top floor as Hardbreach gets to work. Minute 40. Should have garnered some good info, I think, from those drones up above. Now it's about actioning off that info.
I wonder if FaZe are just going to try and put themselves in the best position to catch CAG as they start moving around. As the time starts to dwindle and CAG want to make their way back towards Psy or get close to it. And yeah, that's exactly what's happened. Souls is just sitting in walk-in. He's just basically saying if someone walks, funnily enough, in, he's already in the best position to get that free kill. And that's exactly what's happened. Anderton had no idea that that was a dangerous position. Opening kill, FaZe. FaZe have absolutely played this round perfectly so far.
Minute on the clock, Sharif falls as well. It's looking good here for FaZe.
The champions, for a reason, they have played some phenomenal siege in the back half of this match. CAG will lose no admirers, but it's the same old story that we see at a 5-4 lead. CAG cannot win any more rounds. FaZe have been able to claw this one back. A dominant start, 3-1 lead for FaZe. CAG went on a run. They were rampant. They were strong. FaZe took a timeout, and then ever since then, they were the better. 7-5 for the Brazilians, and really showed their adaptability, their strength, their gunplay. They can play the quick rounds, the slow rounds. They can do what they want. When they dictate the game, they're one of the best teams in the world.
I think some may unfairly frame that as a CAG choke. I think that would be unjust and unworthy of the performance that FaZe put inside of the server. After that tactical timeout, they ramped up. They found another gear. They played flawlessly. Info gathering was amazing. They gave so little breathing room and playmaking opportunity to their opposition. It was clinical. If they continue to play like that through this stage, 3-0 could be very much on the cards.
Yeah, I think I said 5-4. It was actually 5-3 lead in favor of CAG. Like, they got out to such a strong start. They forced that timeout. in control of the game, and you can't take away a lot of the strengths of what we saw from CAG. And the best way I could kind of summarize the end of this game, FaZe beat CAG. CAG didn't beat themselves. They didn't make a lot of mistakes. It was just FaZe went up a level that CAG couldn't necessarily match them. And I think that really goes to show just the strength of not just FaZe, but the Brazilian region. CAG, as I said, shouldn't really lose a lot of admirers. I think they played some really, really good Siege. They got out to a 5-3 lead. And I know at that very point in time, we were literally saying, like, they've been in this position before, and then they go on to lose it, and that did happen again. But it happened again not because CAG'd, FaZe just actually woke up.
It wasn't in the fashion that we anticipated.
FaZe woke up and they went beast mode. They played to their best of their ability, and that was the difference in the end. And a 7-5 win for FaZe is absolutely a deserved result for them. Overtime would have been fun, but yeah, we got the right result.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Skyscraper can be a bit of a slogfest, but we saw FaZe just open up that map, unlike many are able to do so. So going into the rest of the Swiss, expecting them to continue to be a threat. I'm trying to think if I actually put them as my 3-0 for predictions. I'd have to go back and triple check. I think I may have, and I think after this result, I'm feeling increasingly more confident, but a long way to go.
I think for me, the takeaway for FaZe, yes, like they started well, got 3-1 lead, and then they kind of let CAG get a bit of a good control of the game. They took that time out, and then they just really looked like they were able to get into their element and what their game plan was, and what they wanted to employ into the server. They picked up a bit of pace, tried to get some control. Once they got that control, then they said, okay, let's tune it a little bit. We can slow it down, get the drone game going, start to then try and cut off the rotates, and just there wasn't much that CAG could do. The other thing to note as well from this game, for those that missed the kind of pre-show discussion around this match, like Skyscraper's a very bad map for CAG.
Yeah.
Like it is like their 8th out of 9 maps preference. They had a 1 out of 7 round defensive win rate against PSG Talon like 2 months ago. So for them to put up a 7-5 loss, it is still a loss against FaZe, is still a really commendable performance, and shouldn't really lose too much sleep over it. And that's actually the end of our post breakdown. We'll go to Maria with an interview.
Hello. We were talking here in Portuguese, sorry. So Hafadel told me that Skyscraper was a really comfortable map for you, but what the hell happened? 5 rounds in a row for CAG? Just tell me.
Yeah, CAG play aggressive. He's telling me, he's they entry every time. He's stopping. And Hafadel is calming the technical pause. He's calm down, guys. He's good game for us. This good map for us. That's okay.
Oh, that was actually what I was going to ask you. What about the timeout talk? Was only that?
Yeah, only that. Calm down. I have a great strategy. Play aggressive. Just it.
Okay, just be FaZe Clan that we are used to watch. So you can rest for now while we have our break.